Hello and welcome to the first video in this series. As can be understood from the title, this is the introduction to my dream game. Now, to make things clear, I have many, quote, dream games. However, this is one I've always really wanted to do but never had the time for and maybe even the capabilities, but now I do. Also, just to clarify, while I do have aspirations for a more tactical unit level combat game, this project will be more grand strategy. Anyway, essentially, I will be taking influence from all of my favorite war strategy games, taking my favorite parts of them while excluding what I disliked about them, and of course, adding my own ideas into the mix. That is the essence of this project. I've played many of these kinds of games a lot, and I think I have a good idea of what made these games successful and what limited them. Furthermore, if God willing, my project garners a following, I will surely involve the community to improve the game and listen to your feedback and ideas. Now, I've been working on this for about a week now, so I do actually have some stuff to show. Though, unfortunately, I can't go too deeply into what I did day by day because I didn't document it that well, but I can briefly summarize what I did do. So to begin, I started this project with CMake, Visual Studio, and OpenGL, as well as all the other libraries that were necessary and were added on later and whatnot. I also did copy some resources from my old Godot attempt at this project, most importantly a folder of flag images, and also GeoJSON files from, I believe the site was called Natural Earth. It will be on screen. And so then I spent the first couple of days implementing the loading and rendering of the map using the GeoJSON file, which I converted into a binary file using a function that I implemented into a map editor executable, which is going to also be a part of the project. And yeah, in the binary file is all the necessary information that I need, and you don't have to parse the JSON file every time you load the map and when you just play the game. You also don't have to triangulate all of the points and everything and whatnot. The binary file just has the pure mesh data, I guess you could say. This part actually wasn't too hard. What was a lot more complicated was the texturing, because I wanted the largest resolution image I could find, and that ended up being Blue Marble by NASA, but you have to download it in tiles because of how big it is, which is annoying because I also have to split these images into tiles to load appropriately so my game is actually operational. You know, you can't just load an 86,400 pixel by 43,200 pixel image and just use that. So I obviously have to optimize it, split into tiles. I also implemented the algorithm that splits it into tiles into my map editor. That's actually pretty much all that my map editor is right now. It just makes a GeoJSON file, a binary file that I use, and splits a texture into tiles of different levels that I need. That's all that it does right now. But I will have much more things in the future for modding. Finally, after all that, I was generally satisfied with how the map looked. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, this isn't even in my script, I totally forgot about it, but I also made a camera class and a whole camera system. It's not too important, it's just how you can view the map. It's only important to me, probably. So after all that, I turned my focus onto creating struct and class abstractions for cities, provinces, and states. Or in simpler terms, I began preparing there to be nations in my game that you can actually interact with, and yeah, and everything that a nation encompasses, like I said before, cities, provinces, and everything else. This part was actually quite challenging, and the important parts had to be redone quite a bit once it went from just abstract variables to actually trying to connect it to the visual aspect of the game, which is the triangles and the vertices, because that's what's being rendered. I need to have an ability to be like, okay, this refers to this nation instance of a class that I made. Anyway, I eventually got it down, and this all leads to me to now, where there are nations in the game where I can change the way they appear, such as if you play as a certain nation, it will be highlighted. That's actually all that I have right now as for that. And furthermore, I've populated the map with cities that you can click, and it actually gets the information from that instance of a city, such as its name, which is also all that I implemented for now. Now, I understand this probably all seems underwhelming, but these were actually very accomplishing for me. Even if they would have been really easy to implement in a game engine, the method by which I implemented them here is probably more optimized and cool because I did it at such a low level of programming. Anyway, that is essentially my project as of now. From today on forward, I will document properly, and I promise to keep you updated weekly, even if you is one person or doesn't even exist at all. That is all. God bless and take care.